What happens if you scroll on your screen without control? Welcome to our podcast, where we unpack the habits and phenomena that define our modern lives. Today, we'll be diving into a topic that affects nearly everyone, the habit of scrolling. Specifically, what happens when we scroll without control? What does this habit do to our minds, bodies, relationships, and overall quality of life? Let's dive deep into this seemingly small behavior that holds enormous consequences. Introduction: the infinite scroll phenomenon. Take a moment to think about this. When was the last time you scrolled through your phone? Was it this morning? Just a few minutes ago? Maybe you're scrolling right now as you listen to this podcast. Scrolling has become one of the most pervasive habits in the digital age. Whether we're on social media, reading news articles, or watching TikToks, many of us spend hours a day mindlessly swiping our thumbs across a screen. This behavior is often driven by a feature called infinite scrolling. Popularized by social media platforms, infinite scrolling ensures there's always more content waiting for you. As soon as you reach the bottom of the page, new posts, tweets, or videos load instantly, keeping you hooked. But why does this simple motion of scrolling feel so addictive? And more importantly, what's the cost of this seemingly innocent habit? Today, we're breaking it all down. Part 1: the evolution of scrolling. How did we get here? To understand why scrolling has become so addictive, we first need to take a step back and look at how technology has evolved. Not too long ago, the internet wasn't a bottomless pit of content. Websites were static, and you had to click to load new pages. This created natural stopping points. Fast forward to 2006, when a user experience designer named Ozzy Raskin invented infinite scrolling. The idea was revolutionary. Why make users click a button to load more content when you can deliver it automatically? What Raskin didn't predict, however, was how this feature would trap users in endless cycles of consumption. Apps like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter quickly adopted infinite scrolling, using it to pair endless content with algorithmic curation. The result: a perfectly engineered attention trap. The content you see is tailored to your preferences, ensuring it's always engaging enough to keep you scrolling. And that's where the trouble begins. Part 2: the mental health implications of mindless scrolling. Let's talk about your brain. When you scroll through an app, you're not just passing time, you're engaging in a behavior that has profound effects on your mental health. Here's how it works. Dopamine and the reward loop. Every time you see something interesting, whether it's a funny meme, a shocking headline, or a cute puppy video, your brain releases dopamine. This chemical makes you feel good and reinforces the behavior that caused it. Over time, scrolling becomes a habit as your brain craves those tiny dopamine hits. Overstimulation, the constant barrage of information, can leave your brain in overdrive. You're consuming so much content so quickly that your brain has no time to process it. This can lead to mental fatigue and difficulty concentrating on other tasks. Comparison and anxiety. Social media often shows the best moments of other people's lives. When you're scrolling endlessly through curated images and success stories, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and even depression. But perhaps the most insidious part of scrolling is how it creates an illusion of productivity. You might tell yourself, "I'm learning something new," or "I'm staying informed." But are you really? Or are you just skimming through posts without retaining anything meaningful? Part 3: the physical toll of scrolling. Scrolling isn't just bad for your mind, it's tough on your body too. Think about the position you're in when you're on your phone. Chances are, your neck is bent, your shoulders are hunched, and your eyes are glued to the screen. Over time, this posture can lead to a host of physical problems. Tech neck. This is the strain on your neck muscles caused by constantly looking down at your phone. It can lead to stiffness, pain, and even long-term damage to your spine. Eye strain. Staring at a screen for hours can cause dry eyes, blurred vision, and headaches. This is often referred to as digital eye strain or computer vision syndrome. Sleep disruption. Scrolling before bed is especially harmful. The blue light emitted by screens suppresses the production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. This can make it harder to fall asleep and reduce the quality of your rest. Sedentary behavior. Hours spent scrolling are hours not spent moving. This can contribute to weight gain, muscle weakness, and an increased risk of chronic conditions like heart disease and diabetes. Part 4. The social consequences of scrolling. Scrolling doesn't just affect your mind and body, it also impacts your relationships. How often have you been in a social setting where everyone is more engaged with their phones than with each other? This behavior has a name: phubbing, a combination of phone and snubbing. It's when you ignore the people around you in favor of your phone. Phubbing can harm relationships, making friends, family, or partners feel unimportant or neglected. And there's another layer to this: the isolation paradox. While scrolling through social media might make you feel connected to others, it often leaves you feeling lonelier. This is because the connections we form online are no substitute for real-world interactions. Part 5. Breaking free from the scroll trap. The good news is that you don't have to be a slave to your screen. Here are some strategies to help you take back control. Set time limits. Use app timers or digital well-being tools to cap your daily screen time. Start small, maybe 30 minutes a day, and gradually reduce it. Be intentional. Before opening an app, ask yourself why you're doing it. Are you bored, anxious, or avoiding something? Being mindful can help you break the habit of mindless scrolling. Establish phone-free zones. Create boundaries by designating certain areas or times as screen-free. For example, keep your phone out of the bedroom or away from the dinner table. Declutter your feed. Unfollow accounts that don't bring you joy or add value to your life. A curated feed can make scrolling less overwhelming and more meaningful. Reconnect with real life. Find hobbies that don't involve screens, like reading, cooking, or spending time outdoors. Engaging in these activities can help you rediscover the joys of the offline world. Practice digital detox days. Dedicate one day a week to being completely offline. Use this time to connect with loved ones, explore nature, or simply relax. Conclusion: reclaiming your time and attention. Endless scrolling might seem harmless, but it's anything but. It affects your mental health, your physical well-being, and your relationships. By becoming aware of these consequences and taking intentional steps to change, you can reclaim your time and attention and live a more balanced, fulfilling life. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If this topic resonated with you, I encourage you to share it with someone who might need a gentle nudge to put down their phone. Remember, the power to break free from the scroll trap is in your hands. Until next time, take care.